As Nigeria turns 60 October 1, 2020, many have been asking the role of the youth in the country's democracy and journey so far. If you look at the history of Nigeria, you realize its founding fathers all came into the picture in a very, very young age. Herbert Macaulay, Tafawa Balewa, Nnamdi Azikiwe. What about Queen Amina of Zaria, Ransom Kuti, and of course, in our today's world, we have so many young Nigerians, even the young females, all coming on stream. Today we're now being joined by Ndi Kato, a politician from Nigeria's northern region. Good to have you join us on this Independence Special.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
You know, it's amazing that a young lady like you coming from the northern part of the country, Nigeria, has had this journey in politics. Tell us how this journey started and how the acceptance level or rate has been for you.
Okay, my journey in politics actually started from the need to solve problems. I know everybody's going to say that, but literally where I come from, southern Kaduna, is very restive. There's a lot of crisis, killings there. And my mom was a poet. She was a writer, a lecturer before she died, English and African literature. And most of her writings, because I was raised in the South, were of where we came from, you know, or where we come from. And she wrote about the Biafran War. Yes, our people, the role, you know, people from places like mine, autochthonous tribes in northern Nigeria, how people were recruited to go fight the war. She spoke about the kind of poverty, societal ills, killings, everything. And I'm her last born, so she spoon-fed me those things like, this is where you come from, this is what is happening. So I've always been very aware. And so as we grew up, these things still did not stop. And I found that to be a problem, and then I started speaking out about it.
Oh, yes.
These organizations have the ability to self-regulate.
Absolutely.
Twitter has machinery in place to self-regulate.
Absolutely.
So does Facebook and every other social media systems. To introduce laws that will give the Nigerian police the power to just shut down any social media, social media in Nigeria is out of this world. It does not belong in year 2020 or any part of Nigeria. What we are saying now is that, in fact, it doesn't belong in 1960. What we are saying now is that we have a generation of young people whose voices are starting to count. In Nigeria, young people are the opposition.
My journey was out of necessity. Of course, further down the line, you find out in politics that it's not so easy for young people, it's not so easy for women. And then you now have to start advocating for that too. And you're here advocating for this, but the original thing you came in here for was because your people were dying, there's a lot of poverty, the future is not looking too bright on that angle, and you want to solve that issue. In terms of, you know, reception, it's a bit strange for young people. Yes, this country was actually built off the activism of young people. And then the gender angle, I remember a call from one of our elders, and I've done quite a lot of work, if I do say so myself. And this man called me. I'm sure he meant well. He probably did mean well within the limitations of his own thoughts. And he said, Ndi, you have done so well for our people. You're a voice, a representative, you provide for us. And if you were a male, we would have said that Southern Kaduna has a new leader. But you are female, and he said you would, these Yoruba people will come and marry you and take you away. It was the oddest thing.
So this comes as in the color of discrimination against your gender.
Yes, of course. When you're running for office as a woman, this never comes for men, who they married, why they married the person, where the person comes from, the person's religion. None of those things matter. For a woman, it does matter. So let's look at when I ran for office. There was a young woman, Tessie, who ran too, and they said her husband was from Taraba. So why didn't she marry from here? You want to take our funds and give to Taraba people. That never comes up. Nobody even knows the wives of the people who are running the men. The other young woman, Rabi, our own people, her husband is from the same local government, but a different tribe within the local government. And our own tribe said, oh, they won't support because her husband is not from this tribe, the same local government. And then for those of us who are not married, why aren't you married? There's a great chance that somebody would come and take you away from here, and none of that factors in when men are running, and it's one of the many things.
The good thing here is that your mom, of blessed memory, she was a historian, someone who's documented some of these things.
Yeah.
Going back in history, is there anyone on the continent, a female, who's been so inspiring in what you do today?
That would be my mother, Ndi Kato. She was an excellent person. I still have people who would say, oh, she lectured me. She lectured at the University of Abuja. And I would have people say that your mom is responsible for where I am today. And I get it. I get it because she's responsible for where I am today. And I think there were some limitations for her generation of women. And so she basically created this warrior. I keep saying that she created me like this, but didn't really tell me that the world outside is not ready for you.
You just called yourself a warrior, so you're a warrior.
Of course I am. A nation cannot say it wants to grow when close to 50% of it have been disenfranchised. These people do not have autonomy over themselves. They do not have equal rights. Equal rights and opportunities, not just for one group of people. It's for everybody. Culture is not an ancient thing. Culture is now. And culture actually arises from needs, from necessity. And so Nigeria must evolve. I think that my life exists as a gift for many other young women to just, they know they can do it. On social media, I try to live as normal a life as possible, try to not be stuck up so people don't feel that, they have to be a certain way to be here. I put my flaws on my sleeves. I speak like a normal early 30s person should be speaking. I play, I joke, and I do that deliberately for people to know that, look, this is it. It's a very normal thing to do. It's an extraordinary thing, but being done by a normal person, a very normal person. So sometimes you see people saying, why are you tweeting like this? Why can't you just come every day? And I'm like, no, I want them to know that it's a very normal person doing this. Mentorship, I hate it. I hate it. Stop mentoring women, just open doors for them. For men, it's never really that word. And it shouldn't, I don't like the structured nature of it for women. And we must call them, teach them, they must slave this way, behave this way. No, my best bet for young women is to open as many doors. I think that whatever lessons they need to learn, they can see it in me and just pick up from there.
So you'll be 31, same month Nigeria turns 60,
yes.
In October specifically. Happy birthday. Are you excited about the journey of your country so far?
Yes, I am. Well, I would have said yes and no, but I'll say yes, I am. The older Nigeria gets, the closer we are to our generation having access to power to do what we need to do. As we grow older, I think people are becoming more aware. Sometimes it may look slow, but people are getting more aware. More than ever, the conversation about Nigeria's existence and renegotiating it is at the table. And so when you reach a landmark age like this, those kind of conversations, they always come out a lot, and we need to renegotiate. I do think that Nigeria is better as smaller federating units with a less powerful center. And more than ever, that conversation keeps coming out. I do hope that the conversation is coming out for the sake of Nigerians and not that people are using it as bargaining chips to gain access to power. You know how that works. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Nigerian women being more vocal than ever. Young generation of young feminists, very vocal, North, East, West, South, Middle Belt. We have so many of them, covered and non-covered. Everybody just, look, this is what we want. There's a push by Nigerian women right now. I think that the Minister for Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Tallen, is leading that. And women are demanding for more. And we're looking at the Constitution, we're looking at laws and acts and how, they affect us negatively. And that push, everybody just being so aware of what we can achieve and all hands on deck, that excites me. That really excites me. Landmark ages, they do excite me that at this age, we can't keep getting it wrong. People would want to push. And that's not to say we get everything wrong.
So now let's close on this. If you had the chance to speak to the Nigerian youth,
yeah.
at this moment of its 60th anniversary. What's your message?
Consequences might seem quite extreme, but there are no consequences for leaders who do not deliver. There are no consequences for leaders who are brutal. There are no consequences for misbehavior in the Nigerian system. And so if there are no consequences, it means you are rewarding it. And I do feel that at this stage, bad leaders need to face consequences. Consequences do not happen only at the polls. With the nature of Nigerian politics, the consequences at the polls are just for us. And if you vote well, you benefit. If you don't vote well, it will do nothing to the politician. Absolutely nothing. So what do? We need to have a conversation about consequences for people who continue to toy with Nigerian lives, ensure that Nigerian lives are greatly devalued and mean nothing. I want to see consequences. I want us to have a conversation about holding people accountable and ensuring that if they don't lead you well, they cannot sleep at night. That is it for me. That consequences should be a thing, should be an ideal in the Nigerian system, because without it, no, we will not be going anywhere.
Ndi Kato, many thanks for speaking with News Central.
Thank you for having me.